And welcome back to Sydney's AMAROO Park Raceway. Cars are on the track for the first round of the AMSCAR Touring Car Series, the 15-lap final this afternoon. They're just on their warm-up lap at the moment. And of course, it's been a day of sensations. Jimmy Richards taking the first heat over 5 laps. And of course, Trevor Ashby coming back to win the second heat over 10. The 15-lap final will certainly suit the BMW M3s this afternoon. Let's hope Frank Gardner and the Team BMW boys have a few of the bugs ironed out of the M3, so they'll run trouble 3 to the finish of the 15-lapper.
Provisional point standings going into this third and final heat for the day. Trevor Ashby with a third in the opening heat and then a victory in the second is on 22 points. Tony Longhurst with a second and third placed finishes is on 18 points. Richards with a victory and a non-finish is on 12 points, level pegging in third spot with Terry Finnegan in the Commodore, who had a 4th place in the opening heat and a second in the previous heat. So it all comes down to this 15-lap decider to determine who'll be the overall winner in this opening round of the iPlex AMSCAR Series here at AMAROO Park.
Cars moving into position. Let's check the grid, how they'll line up for the 15-lap final. Pole position, Jim Richards, car 3, the JPS BMW from 239, Trevor Ashby in the Commodore. 3, car 4, Tony Longhurst in the BMW M3. Position 4, car 35, Andrew Madecki in the Sierra Turbo. 5, car number 12, Ludwig Finauer in the BMW. From 623, Terry Finnegan. Position 7, car number 34, Don Smith in the Sierra Turbo. From 837, Tony Mulvihill in the Commodore. 977, Peter Williamson back in the Toyota Supra. 10, car number 42, Kevin Bartlett in the Starion Turbo. From 1158, David Radcliffe in the Toyota Levin. From 12, car 41, Glenn Clark in the Toyota Sprinter.
Rounding out the field, also in a Toyota Sprinter, Bob Holden.
There's Trevor Ashby.
How many race starts has Kevin Bartlett had here today?
Oh, I think apart from the Formula V race, he's been in just about everything. I think he had 4 in a row at one stage. Car number 12 is Ludwig Finauer. They've got 30 seconds to go prior to the start. Finauer, of course, scarpered off the racetrack in Heat 2. He dived down on the inside over the concrete curb, launched himself into the tail of Andrew Madecki. There's Madecki in the Oxo Super Cube Sierra Turbo. 10 seconds to go for the final today of the AMSCAR Touring Car Series. Flag is up. And they're racing, getting away smartly off the line. Jimmy Richards this time, but Ashby grabs another gear, goes with him. Andrew Madecki gets through smartly. Ashby, I think, has missed a gear and has been gobbled up here completely by Terry Finnegan, who tries to get Tony Longhurst, but I think that horse has bolted. Richards will now go through to the lead. Second is Andrew Madecki, then Longhurst followed by car number 23, Terry Finnegan, then Ashby back and forth.
Yes, he missed the change from first to second, did Trevor Ashby, as he left the line, and that's dropped him back into 5th position. Just the advantage the BMW pilots needed.
Well, he might have made a blue, but that had nothing to do with the performance of Andrew Madecki. He really proved the joker in the pack in this third and final heat this afternoon and got away brilliantly and holds down second spot behind Jim Richards.
And trouble for Terry Finnegan, who's gone off the boil. I think may even have a flat tyre, so he goes to the infield. Gentleman Jim leads it. Here's Andrew Madecki looking good in the Oxo Super Cube Sierra Turbo. And Tony Longhurst back in 3rd. That moves Ashby up to 4th. Ludwig Finauer is now up to 5th. And Madecki looking good at this stage. He tails Jimmy Richards to the top of Nissan Skyline.
Team manager for the Oxo Motorsport team, Don Smith, has recently taken a trip to the UK and spent some time with Andy Rouse, the man who originally developed these Ford Sierra Cosworth turbos for racing. The news is they'll have a new engine management system coming for the car probably sometime just after Wanneroo. Should be around about 3 weeks away from now. They believe that'll give them a more even power distribution, a better power band. Despite conflicting reports, they tell us they are going to get their extra 110 horsepower in the evolutionary processes with these cars later in the year. Some people say that's not going to happen, some people reckon it will. If it does, they're going to be a pretty potent motor car.
Well, talking about potent motor cars, I don't know what Andrew Madecki's found since the previous heat, but he's found something because he's really hounding Jim Richards at the moment.
The word is that the JPS BMWs have problems in that heat number 2 with engine management system, possibly related to the temperature. there's certainly no problem with the way the cars are running at the moment. The damage to Goofy's car largely superficial.
Coming down the back straight, Tony Longhurst, car 4. Some problems today for young Tony. However,
problems today for Terry Finnegan too, as you mentioned earlier. Mike went off on the infield with what appeared to be a deflated tyre and has now left the racetrack altogether, is back in the pits and out of the running.
This is a fine showing from Andrew in the Ford. I might just get the clock operating next lap to see just how quickly they are circulating. Give us an idea whether Jim's a little slow or Andrew's a little quicker than he was.
Trevor Ashby has never recovered from missing a gear there at the start, and there's Seven's race cam in the BMW M3 of Ludwig Finnar.
And Ludwig coming right up on the tail here of the Lansville Smash Repairs Commodore. See what Goofy can do this time. Don Smith, the second of the Sierras, moves in right behind them. Gives us an opportunity to follow Ashby and also Ludwig down the back part of the course, coming down to the right-hand kink. Now the downhill run to Honda Corner.
Well, we saw earlier that Ashby was very, very cool under intense pressure from Tony Longhurst. I think he'd be able to handle Ludwig pretty well. In fact, pulling away here, coming down into the late corner.
And Ludwig
Smith,
yeah.
Someone missed a gear then.
Well, the time that Jim set on that last lap was a 53.98. They're not mucking about.
Finnar continues behind Trevor Ashby. And Don Smith probably a couple of car lengths back behind him.
I noticed a couple of laps ago when we had the shot from race cam up that Ludwig runs very, very wide in his approach run to the brow of the hill up at Bitchapay. We might have a look at that next time round as we take race cam through Mazda and in behind Trevor Ashby's car, but the car gets very, very light over the top, and you notice that he almost every time goes into the right-hander at Dunlop with the car really sliding. And by comparison to Tony and Jim, they take a much tighter line up there.
Well, we'll follow that this time round. See how close Ashby goes to the wall there to come back onto the start finishing straight, and we'll follow them up the hill. Now, he enters the corner early, runs out much wider here. See how he's on the left of the road? Now has an awkward sort of an entry into the right-hander at Dunlop, gets up on the ripple strip and then runs wide. So he's actually tracking the car further left and right than perhaps he needs to. And the best comparison there is his fellow competitors. If you look at Jim and Tony, they make a dead straight run over the top of the hill.
You mean that's like people that sit at the table and eat with their elbows out, right?
Something like that.
Okay, Ashby continues to hold him out down the back of the course, and they are in third and fourth positions on the racetrack. Up front, there's no problem for Jimmy Richards. Continues now to lead the race and lead it well from Andrew Medicki.
One guy who I'm sure knows a little bit about these BMW M3s is Peter McCabe. Last week came out and spent some laps in the M3. I'm sure that would have been a rather exciting experience.
A most impressive motor car, Neil. The horsepower of the little M3 was a surprise to me, and it revs like all get out to 8,400 revs, and it is not a little four-cylinder wimp.
No, it's not. And the fella driving this is not a wimp at all. That's Tony Longhurst, and he's getting on even terms now with Andrew Medecki.
Yeah, certainly getting right onto Medecki's tail, going through the lake corner once more. Jim Richards, meantime, is pulling away and has a pretty commanding, if not a winning lead at this stage of the race. And I think you'll find Longhurst going to be pretty anxious to try and get by here if he's going to make ground on his teammate Richards up front. But Medicki, the real surprise packet in this third and final heat today.
I think it's a great thing. Medecki, obviously, along with Don Smith, have come along today to try and set their cars up. They'll do all the racing they can to develop the Sierras. Now you're sitting at home hoping that they'll get faster. And by the time the Touring Car Championship, the Shell Ultra National round comes here on the 21st of June, I think you'd expect... Oops! Some smoke that time. It's expect to see this combination very, very much on the pace. So Longhurst now making the big moves down on the inside. Decky closes the gate on him. Going to make him work hard for this one. Shake out the window by Andrew just to let him know. Let's do it all nice and cleanly now.
The race claims another casualty as car 77, the Supra of Peter Williamson, leaves the track and heads into the pits with almost zero power.
A brand new Supra too for Peter Willow this weekend. The other one destroyed at Bathurst, the James Hardy 1000 practice. So all go.
Yes, Andrew's getting inside. In fact, he's gone off the boil completely.
Left rear tyre looks a little suspect to me.
Yeah, it's only flat on one side though.
It's on the bottom. That's bad luck for Andrew Madecki. It was looking very good indeed in the Oxo Super Cube Ford Sierra.
Yeah, a great shame. Andrew paid a marvellous compliment to Don Smith. He said, and we were asking the question, how come his car is a little quicker than Don's? And Andrew said, because Don gives me all the good new gear.
That's excellent. Well, they've come along with two cars for the touring car series, and of course we look forward to seeing them in action at our next round.
2.5 laps remaining in this final for the James Hardy iPlex AMSCAR series. That's Trevor Ashby holding down third place on the racetrack at the present time, being pursued by Ludwig Finauer in the BMW M3.
Trevor Ashby, of course, 36 years of age, from Sydney. No rookie, fourth in the 86 AMSCAR. AMAROO Super Sedan Series, I should say. Qualified 16th in the 86 James Hardy. And rookie, of course, in the 87 AMSCAR Series. And Nissan know-how stat. On the track at the moment is Tony Mulvihill, running 6th on the road in the brightest colour on the brightest car in the field.
I used to have a pair of socks that colour once.
You're wearing them, Wilco.
Of course, Tony Mulvihill, who operates Mulvihill Security Services, and Tony loves his motorsport. A very, very competent driver. Nice guy with it. And like so many of the privateers who feel the punch against the factory teams in 87 because of the high dollars, it's great to see him at least running in the front half of the field and supporting all the races he can in New South Wales.
Andrew Madecki, a fresh tyre and back out on the track.
So Tony Mulvihill continues in 6th spot. Jimmy Richards is our race leader. Here he is, down on the inside.
Just slipping by Glenn Clark in the Toyota Sprinter. Here comes Longhurst as well. Also gives the Toyota the go-by.
They're on their last lap. So 1-2 coming up for Team JPS BMW.
And Frank Gardner has gone to great pains this week to disassociate himself with any parts coming out of Bavaria. He built the cars in Sydney, he says.
Well, fitting result for Frank Gardner. He's turned up with 3 cars. They're all going to finish here this afternoon. 1st and 2nd. And then a 4th place to Ludwig Finauer. Jimmy Richards, the man who was unbeaten here in 1985, won 7 out of 10 in the Australian Touring Car Championship for Team JPS BMW. Looking good as he comes down to the late corner, and a late charge here from Tony Longhurst on the inside. And Longhurst goes through in the last corner. Last turn coming up now, and it's going to be a 1-2 for the BMW team. And Longhurst coming out of the bend, going across the line, and will lead Jimmy Richards to the flag. No team orders here today.
A 2-1.
A 2-1. And 3rd across the line is in fact going to be Trevor Ashby in car number 39, the Lansvale Smash Repairs Commodore. Well, coming from nowhere, Tony Longhurst. Let's check the placings on the Castrol scoreboard. Tony Longhurst, the race winner. Jimmy Richards runs 2nd, and Trevor Ashby, a very determined 3rd.
Well, Tony Longhurst taking the checkered flag in the final of the 3 heats today for the James Hardy iPlex AMSCAR series from Jimmy Richards. A little bit of a turn up for the books there on the final lap, and Trevor Ashby filling 3rd place. But Overall, the winner on the day over the 3 heats will be, in fact, Trevor Ashby on the points, because he had a third, a first and a third place finish, and that was good enough to give him the points. Bruce Robinson, the divisional manager for iPlex for James Hardie Industries, is here to make the presentation. All we've got to do is find Trevor Ashby. Where are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big effort. Come around here. We'll get Bruce on that side. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Congratulations, Trevor. A great race. It's been a great introduction too for Hardie iPlex. It's its first race sponsorship, and we hope there'll be more.
Thank you.
All the very best indeed.
Thank you.
Well, that was a pretty big effort. 2 third-place finishes and a win sandwiched in the middle there. And it started off to be a pretty good season for you in '87, hasn't it?
It has really, yes. We put a bit of time in practice in the car. It's getting a little bit tired, but the development side of the handling, we've put a lot of time in there, and we're trying hard.
Well, the BMW boys reckon they've still got some development up their sleeve, and I think that sounds a big warning, doesn't it, to the rest of you guys?
It does really, yes. Yes, but we've all got a lot of work to do yet.
That car, you had a win, I think, first up at Oran Park. What are the plans from here on? You're going to contest everything you can lay your hands on?
We'd like to, but we haven't got the backing. And Lansvale Smash is owned by Steve Reed and myself, and we just haven't got the backing to continue on competitively.
It is a big worry.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So what, you're basically confined to the meetings you can get to from Sydney, like Oran Park,
right.
AMAROO?
Yeah, we can only run the local meetings at this stage, yes.
Well, I don't know, a few more results like you've been posting here today, and somebody might come along with the checkbook and put a sign on the side of the car, and you'll really be able to get serious about it.
We've got the time to do it, but like I said, we haven't got the backing. If someone does that, we've got the time.
Well, let's hope so. Congratulations on a fine effort to take out the points in today's 3-round series.
Thanks again. While I'm here, I would just like to thank Hardie Plex for the backing of the series. I'd like to thank all the guys in the pit crew that have helped me for the last 7 years of my racing. Same guys right through. My company, as I said, is Lansvale Smash. Westline have been with me again this year. A couple of small backers there that I appreciate the help.
Hang in there, pal.
Thank you.
Trevor Ashby, the overall winner, but the winner of the final race today was Tony Longhurst. Now, Tony Longhurst, no respecter of age or rank. What are you doing knocking off Jim on the last lap? What happened there?
I think Jim might have let me through. My car, the rear tyre went off a little bit. I was having a bit of trouble out there. But we thought that if I came first, second and third that I would have got the series today, so we were just a bit confused there.
You needed to have a pocket calculator with you, pal.
I think we might need one.
Now listen, the BMs have been copping a bit of bad publicity over the World Touring Car Championship result, but there's no chance you're going to weigh in light.
No way. You can't help what someone does overseas, can you?
Sure.
Our cars are always spot on, and you never have to worry about that.
Well, as I just said to Trevor, Frank Gardner says that there's quite a bit of development left in these M3s yet, and that doesn't augur too well for the rest of the competition, because you guys have really got those cars wound up.
Yeah, they're going very well. They're a little bit slower here than what we thought they'd be.
Well, Jim set a lap record in the first heat.
Did he? Oh, well, they're not too bad then, are they?
Yeah. 53.7.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Just after the way they went at Tasmania, we thought we would have been able to run in the twos, but I'm sure that'll come as the year progresses.
You won the series here last year.
Yeah.
You got a bit of work cut out for you to win it again.
Yeah, that bloody Commodore's giving us a hard time, isn't it? We'll have to have a think about that.
All right, well, you keep on his tail. We better have a quick word to Jim Richards before we get away. Where are you, Jim?
Thank you.
Well, you used to be the winningest man at AMAROO, but somebody's jiggered the formula.
No, I think we had a little bit of misfortune today, but I'm sure that as the season goes by, we'll be at the front again.
You opened up with a win. What happened in the second heat?
We had a problem with an exhaust pipe and it collapsed, then shut off the escape for the gases to the atmosphere, and of course it just stifled the engine and it wouldn't run.
The cars really do look potent, but of course they handle so well on this circuit, but there are bigger tracks to come yet for the successive rounds of the Australian Touring Car Championship. Will you be able to run with the V8s there?
Well, we thought our worst circuit would be Symonds Plains,
yeah,
and it's turned out to be our best so far.
Yeah.
So I hope that as we get onto the longer circuits, our cars will keep going better and better.
Let's hope so.
So
congratulations on a good effort today. Jim Richards. Okay, Trevor Ashby, the overall winner today. Tony Longhurst taking out the final heat and filling second place on the points, and Jim Richards in third place on points. And our thanks to Bruce Robinson, the divisional manager for James Hardie iPlex.